Good afternoon once again. Today is Friday, July the 17th, 2020, and this is the English language summary of the daily press briefing here at the Center for COVID Situation, or the CCSA. So first of all, today we had the briefing, of course, by the spokesperson of the CCSA. Also was followed by the short Q&A session by Mr. Chertkiat Athakon, the spokesperson and Director-General of Information of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Perhaps I'll begin by recapping the spokesperson of the CCSA as well as the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But of course, starting first by saying that, of course, we had indeed a very challenging week in this past week. But of course, the fact that we are addressing the public on all of these issues, the fact that we are transparent and providing information on a daily or weekly basis, is a very good reflection of the work of the relationship that the CCSA has with the general public and the audience, the English language audience as well. So we seek for your continued cooperation. So the Director General of the Information Department provided information about a particular case, which I'll summarize. The one issue first is that the use of the term VIP, you see that in the press quite often. Just to clarify that in this situation, there is actually no such thing as using the word VIP, no such group actually, because each group has their own particular needs and functions. Therefore, different groups are classified, so therefore the arrangements, the management, the various protocols are arranged for different groups of persons, be it Thai nationals or foreign nationals coming into the country, but definitely not VIP. So in the past week, we had various cases which you would have known already by reading news in the press. Some cases which were quite challenging. One included, of course, the issue of a foreign air crew arriving in Thailand, and there was a breach in terms of leaving the hotel where they were supposed to be at and visiting department stores, therefore affecting, to some level, businesses and schools in the province of Rayong province. Another case was concerning members of the diplomatic community stationed in Thailand, returning back to Thailand. And also the most recent one, which was last night, was the case of a Western diplomat in Thailand who was entering into the residence, and then the condominium actually did not allow for that entry. So actually we are finalizing the discussions to, in due course, make alternative state quarantine for foreign diplomats compulsory. Alternative state quarantine or facilities which are similar to that. And to that effect, of course, we are communicating with the diplomatic community here in Thailand. This afternoon, there will be a briefing at 14:30 hours to explain and to clarify certain issues with the diplomatic community here in Thailand. So as we are finalizing the compulsory ASQ scheme, at the moment, in the meantime, we have asked diplomats to stay in isolated facilities if they return from abroad, isolated facilities like residences. Of course, some condominiums might be too congested to be considered isolated facilities, so it has to be in terms of residences or houses. That would be in line with the measures that are necessary to control the spread of COVID for those returning from abroad. So in the meanwhile, that has been conveyed. That is according to the current measures. But as mentioned, when we finalize this around today or in 1 or 2 days, the compulsory scheme would be put in place most likely. So I'd just like to touch briefly on seeking cooperation with the measures. Of course, we mention this quite often to the Thai public and also to our foreign friends, those who call Thailand home, seek cooperation for all the measures. The sentiment of the public in the host country, of course, is very important for everyone. And I'm sure that all foreign nationals understand that the sentiment of any country, of the public of any country that you live in is also very important, because we know you understand, because you are our friends. You understand, of course, that these days, Thai citizens, your Thai friends, your Thai families want to be 100% sure of being able to control the virus. Everyone has given their own sacrifices and dedication and been practicing, implementing all the various measures, the 6 key measures as well. So Thais would want to keep this very intact. So as a diplomat myself, the diplomat that I am, I understand, of course, that foreign nationals, diplomats or non-diplomats, the task is, of course, to cultivate friendships with host countries, living in foreign countries, working, studying. The most important thing is to understand each other and to cultivate good relationships with the host country and your friends here in Thailand. So these days, our Thais are very careful, very vigilant on this. There are Thais right now are even scrutinizing the CCSA, if I would say, and the officials that we have here, if we ourselves are abiding by the various measures. That's why I always come up on stage, on screen with a mask, because the public is also scrutinizing the CCSA. So it's very important, and the CCSA is supportive of everybody in complying with all these measures, because we are in the same battle, Thais and foreigners and those who call Thailand home. And just as a note, that the case yesterday of a Western diplomat who was entering into a condominium in which that diplomat lived in was tested negative for COVID upon arrival. So in any case, we'll be strengthening the measures and communicating with the foreign community, foreign diplomats rather, in due course on this. And of course, in general, living in Thailand for English language speakers, for foreign nationals here, it's, I would say, I wouldn't want to be quite biased, but I would say that it's somewhat relatively safe in terms of the fear of COVID as compared to other countries. The spokesperson of the CCSA shows up a chart with countries and numbers each day, but I don't have enough time to go through that, of course. But it also reflects that in many other countries, the COVID situation is still quite alarming. Today, the number that Dr. Tweesin showed us in terms of new cases for today only around the world is 255,000 new cases today, all around the world combined. And I'll tell you what the number for Thailand is for today. And for each particular country, one country today had a new case, sorry, not a new case, 70,000 new cases today. Another country had over 40,000 new cases today. So I'm sure that all of us appreciate the measures that we in Thailand here have for everybody, including those who call Thailand home. So the effects on Rayong province and Bangkok this week, quite challenging. We want to highlight that we have to continue to work together and deal with the health challenges we face. At the same time, do our best to maintain the momentum and continue to uplift the post-COVID economy. Just some key points. First, non-compliance with CCSA guidelines. Once again, to underline that we cannot be complacent. Extra efforts must be made to ensure the control, the preventative measures are adhered to, so that we will not have another cycle, second wave of infection. Number 2 is concerned government agencies continue, and I assure you, continue to work hard to fix, to address the loopholes, the damages, the gaps caused by non-compliance of guidelines. And they are, as I mentioned, revising relevant guidelines every day to ensure that there will be no repeat of any negative events or challenging events like this week. And thirdly, of course, Thai nationals and foreign friends have to adhere to the guidelines, rules, and regulations for the benefit of everyone in Thailand, and also those who are in our neighboring countries, because we are all interconnected. Also, just to mention that since we'll be finalizing the measures to have alternative state quarantine compulsory for foreign diplomats soon, and foreign officials, foreign visitors, special arrangement and things like that. We'll be having perhaps a compulsory ASQ, alternative state quarantine, in hotels soon. And on that note, to thank some countries and international organizations in Thailand who are already discussing with the Thai government that they would be willing to enter into the alternative state quarantine. So when nationals of that particular country or that particular international organization comes to Thailand after being abroad for a while and coming back on a repatriation flight with Thai nationals, when they come, one or two countries and then an international organization, the global organization has already discussed with the Thai side that they will be willing to enter into the ASQ. So that is a very good example for other countries to be in discussion with the Thai side, because your health, foreign nationals, Thai people's health is the priority. And the ASQ, of course, is a controlled, registered hotels that have a package for those who return from abroad. Right now, foreign nationals are compulsory. They have to go into ASQ. So with the various exemptions for different groups, diplomats, I hope that there will be discussions for have that to be compulsory soon and receive the cooperation. It is an issue of collective health for all of us. So moving on to the number of cases that we have today for Thailand, and coming up to you soon is the English language slide that we have to you. In total, today, Thailand, we have 3,239 cases cumulative, with still 58 fatalities. That's a stagnant number. It hasn't moved for it hasn't increased for many weeks already. And total 3,096 recoveries. So that's a high percentage of those, total number of those who are infected. Most have already recovered and returned home. So currently, out of those numbers, if you can do the math, 85 are currently still in hospital and receiving treatment. Of course, minus the fatalities. So we come to you once a week for the English language edition. Just to recap the past week. During the 11th to the 17th of July, Thailand recorded 41 new cases in the past 6 days prior to today, and 0 fatalities. Today, particularly today, on Friday, today, we have 3 new cases, which are imported cases and in-state quarantine. All of these new cases are imported and currently in state quarantine, and as other countries continue to try their best to deal with it, we have to remind you that Thailand has had no local infection for many days already, 40, 50 days already. I haven't been keeping track because it's very good news. No local domestic infection, only imported infections. So let's continue to work together to ensure that we can maintain this hard-earned success. Some details of the 3 new cases for today. New infections are all Thai female nationals aged young, quite young, 22, 23, and 28 years old. Thai nationals returning from the country of Sudan on the 10th of July. Actually, the same flight as the case of the foreign diplomat, Sudanese family member that returned to Thailand. And all of these 3 Thai nationals positive for COVID are currently in state quarantine. 2 cases of these 3 persons were asymptomatic. So just some additional information regarding the case that affected Rayong and Bangkok this week. The CCSA, the government, has taken immediate action to effectively deal with the loophole, with the breach of the guidelines in Rayong province and in Bangkok. In Rayong province in particular, after the incident wherein an air crew of a foreign country left the hotel and went to department stores and like in Rayong, for that case, in Rayong in particular, more than 4,200 people have already been tested for COVID-19. And the result so far has been all negative for those locally in Rayong province. So that's good news, and we will continue to administer these COVID tests for those in the Rayong vicinity in areas in which the individual had visited. And to date, around 685 more persons are still waiting for the test results in Rayong. So this week, challenging the Prime Minister and Defense Minister, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, as director, as head of the CCSA, had expressed publicly apologies to the public, to the people. He also made an urgent field visit to Rayong province in the past days to assess the situation, to meet people, especially to hear the people's views and their sentiments and their needs. And in this connection, the Prime Minister had given an ordered for a thorough and in-depth investigation, assigned the CCSA to review and amend existing anti-COVID guidelines and measures. Reviewing from time to time is being dynamic on these issues. It's very important to review these measures, and also instructed authorities to tighten the inspections of establishments and venues, both in Bangkok and in the provinces, to ensure that they are in line, continue to be in line with the CCSA guidelines. The social media, we also have had many inquiries regarding the extension of visas beyond the 31st of July for foreign nationals, the automatic extension of stay. So what I can say, what I can only say now, is that relevant agencies are preparing to propose a new round. It is in the pipeline, so please follow the updates to be made by the Immigration Bureau of the Royal Thai Police. So coming up on screen will be some infographics or slides. First is the blue, dark blue ones. Yes, the outlining the procedures for entry into Thailand for non-Thai nationals. You can find this in the Facebook page and website of the CCSA, as well as the Public Relations Department, PR Thai government in English. These outline the general procedure, which all of you would have known already. The first procedure actually is to contact the Thai embassies abroad and then follow the flowchart, the outlines that you have. Various groups of Thai nationals, as announced, 11 groups of Thai and foreign nationals given the green light to enter, as long as you have the proper documents, you follow the procedures, beginning with contacting the Thai embassy in your country, and ending, of course, with when you have to reserve the hotel ASQ and you are quarantined for 14 days in the ASQ. So thank you for your cooperation in that. And to date, a number of foreign nationals under these schemes, these groups have already begun to enter the kingdom. Another set of slides, flowcharts that I have for you, 5 in particular. The font is quite small on screen, but you can find this in the Facebook page of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You can also find it on social media of the Public Relations Department. Basically, these are flowcharts of the procedure in clear format for different groups. The first group we would have, of course, is like those who are work permit holders. And perhaps we can go on to the next slide. There are 5 slides. Or foreign students, or the spouses and families of Thai nationals, and etc. So these groups that we already mentioned, we have flowcharts. Can I have the last 2, perhaps? You can perhaps you can't see it because the font's quite small, but you can find it on social media. So these flowcharts outline the exact procedures for clarity, for transparency as well. But of course, as I mentioned, the various documents have to be in place. You have to be qualified. You have to, the one factor is, of course, the availability of flights. Perhaps Thai repatriation flights is possible, but not automatic. And of course, for different countries, the flight schedule would be varied, but of course discussed with the Thai embassy for these issues. So that is out of the way. So to recap, to end, the success that we achieved so far is actually clearly the result of good cooperation from all of you, from the general public, all parts of society. We are moving and returning to normalcy. As you know, the government is working hard for the post-COVID economic rehabilitation. There are other news right now about changing of cabinet members and things like that. So just to remind friends and colleagues from abroad that the procedure and documents needed to enter into Thailand, it's very important. And of course, information can be found in all the outlets that I mentioned. And finally, a caricature on screen right now for the reminding you from time to time, 6 important measures to prevent COVID. Washing hands, social distancing, still very important. We might have some saga, scare, but don't panic. I think the important thing is don't panic. Just keep tab with the 5 measures. Plus one is Thai Chana, of course. So for the English language summary, as I mentioned, we'll be having this once a week. In the meanwhile, please find information from media, from official sources, from newspapers, or from the various outlets which translate the news or broadcasts official information from Thai into English. So please continue to do that. As I mentioned before, we're here to serve, we're here to communicate with all of you because we are one in this battle, and we are all, of course, all on the same team, be it Thai nationals, be it foreign nationals who call Thailand home. So thank you very much for your attention, and then we'll see you again next week for the English language summary of the briefings at the CCSA. I hope you have a very good weekend, a good week ahead, and let's work together to prevent any further challenging weeks ahead. Hopefully not. But thank you very much again, and more power to all of you. Thank you. สวัสดีครับ
ครับขอบพระคุณนะครับ